And moving on. And then it must be that time of the month. Mike Sewall says, "Hey, Manly Matt, I noticed the scarce Diamondback cards are rising in price. Have you noticed that? Or has anybody mentioned that elsewhere?"
I'm trying to think when the last time Diamondback came up from anybody. I haven't heard anything, but then again, I stopped looking for service on eBay because it's either stuff I have, stuff I can't afford, or stuff that I have but still can't afford.
Right. Because that's interesting, because I think a lot of people are in that category. Mike's kind of new to the whole service collecting thing, so he's going to notice if they're starting to spike. Maybe a remastered add-on would help with the next campaign. Just a thought. That's been a thought that's been bounced back and forth between me and Dagan since before the remastered High Society hardcover of what Diamondback deck would we do and how would we package it? What would the back of the card look like? Would it come in a box, and would it come in an illustrated box? How many decks would you put in it? Because Diamondback, the more players you have, the more decks you need. That's me designing a game that I want to sell a lot of. And in a more prosaic sense, I've still got a box of probably 50 of the last pressing of the Diamondback decks when they were in the white envelope, which are autographed, and I had been looking for a Kickstarter to include them in, and Rolly knows where they are. I gave them to him, told him what they were, and they're somewhere out back at Camp David. So it would be possible to offer a remastered add-on. Dagan definitely has scans of the original artwork of the illustrations that were on the cards. The actual magician, priestess, priest, etc., etc. But it only goes so far, and then it becomes, well, okay. If you do it as part of a Kickstarter, then you're making the package three-dimensional, and we try to keep the packages at Aardvark two-dimensional, as flat as possible. Dagan, I could see him doing it, but it's one of those, again, how many decks are you going to do? Because the more decks you do, the more three-dimensional that it becomes. You could do a real high-end thing. It's like, what do the card shoes that they have in Las Vegas, an absolute professional card shoe where you put the deck into the card shoe and it dispenses one card at a time, irrefutably. That would be interesting, selling a Diamondback card shoe and with a Diamondback deck inside it. What do those retail for? And at that point, you're going, well, okay, we're getting pretty close to Oliver's charge $1 million, but then you just have to sell one of them.
Well, and the other problem with selling Diamondback is A, you still have 50 decks. B, do you make them original, authentic size where they're tarot card size, or do you make them playing card size so they're easier to play with? C, have you ever played Diamondback before? Because there's a group of us who who've sworn that Diamondback's one of those, you should try it. You should really try this game. And afterward, everybody goes, why did you say that? It's like, because now you know why no one plays Diamondback professionally. It's a fun game for... I mean, to be fair, when I first started playing Diamondback, my brother had a deck of blank playing cards that he bought that he never did anything with. And I took a Sharpie and made really crude Diamondback cards. And I played them with the college kids while we were drinking. So the game was a lot of fun because we were drinking.
Right.
You know, we bet. I mean, it was one of these, we went out, we bought scotch, we bought tubes of Pringles, and we bet potato chips. We also decided at one point, because the game really is so simple, that if you got a priest, it was called an altar boy, and you had to do a shot of scotch. And the first night I ever started drinking, I had a chart that we found the next day that was titled Matt's Fucking It Up List of how many shots I had to take. And I think I stopped recording them at 12.
Right.
I mean,
that was back in your bucket of scotch days.
Yes. I mean, that was that was when I went to Goodwill and found a glass candle holder in the shape of a bucket and went, hey, we can drink out of this.
That's right.
I mean,
that's right.
Diamondback, a deck of Diamondback cards, if you're a Service fan, is a great item to have on the shelf. 12 decks so you can play with your family at Christmas. You people have problems.
Yeah, unless you're drinking at Christmas. There are households where Diamondback and Christmas would go good together with some lubrication. I remember it was the Books of Cerebus exhibit where you guys played Diamondback and you invited me to come down to wherever the area was. Was that the one?
That was Olene, yeah. That was we we invited because Gerhard was still with Rose then, and it was Gerhard and Rose came, and then after about enough time for Rose to go, these people aren't right. They left, and then you showed up with Jason because you guys had gone out to the choral concert, and we were all in the lobby of the hotel playing Diamondback, and it was one of the, I was the one that was gung-ho of, come on, this will be fun, because it was fun when I did it with my buddies, and everybody, I remember at one point, I think it was either Jeff Seiler or Jeff Tundis turned to you and said, what idiot designed this game?
And you invited me into the game, and I went, oh no, not on a bet, not a single chance. And I glommed on to Paula's In Touch magazine. She had a stack of In Touch magazines for some reason, and it's like, if I'm going to do something completely brainless and the opposite of efficacious and edifying, I'm going to read gossip magazines rather than playing Diamondback. And okay, go ahead.
And we were all very shocked about, Dave, why are you reading, slanderous trash? And as you said, it's like having 7 girlfriends at once.
Oh, I didn't remember saying that, but it's true. It's all of the female concerns. If you buy In Touch magazine, you get it, and they're most of them drop dead gorgeous, and it's way too much information about them, and sometimes it's really, really nasty, like Paula Abdul without makeup on, and this is what the paparazzi caught her looking like, and it's like, I'm not proud of myself for reading these, but man, these are like salted nuts for me. So there you go, MJ Mike Sewall. That's the answer to that one, probably TMI. And now I'm going to take a break for my combination Passover Ramadan prayer time, where I read from the Quran, and I read the second book of Moshe, chapter 12, also known as Exodus for Christians, which is the Passover narrative, which I read with each of my Muslim prayer times for the 8 days of Passover, for a total of 40 readings of Exodus 12. Just like the wandering in the desert for 40 years. So I will be back momentarily. Matthew?
Okay, Dave. I will be here.
Talk to you soon.